Israel Keyes was one of the most calculating and terrifying serial killers in American history. Unlike many killers, Keyes meticulously planned his crimes, traveling across the country to commit murders, leaving behind little trace of his actions. His chilling methods, use of kill kits, and lack of a clear pattern made him nearly impossible to catch. Keyes' cold, emotionless approach to his heinous acts left investigators and the public horrified as they uncovered the extent of his cruelty. This intro delves into the life of a man whose brutal crimes shocked the nation. Today we will talk about Israel Keyes, a calculating and cruel American serial killer. So before we start, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Who was Israel Keyes? Serial killer Israel Keyes is presumed to have killed 11 people between 2001 and 2012. Though authorities have only definitively connected him to 3 murders. As calculating as he was cruel, Keyes typically traveled to different locations to select victims of opportunity, rather than target a specific demographic. He buried weapons and other supplies ahead of time, and financed his actions by working as a contractor and robbing banks. His uncharacteristic behavior after killing 18-year-old Samantha Koenig in Alaska led to his arrest in March 2012. His December 2012 death by suicide, before he could stand trial, left law enforcement with more questions than answers about his crimes. Early life. Israel Keyes was born in Cove, Utah, on January 7, 1978, as the second of 10 children born to Hetty and John Jeffrey Keyes. The couple didn't believe in government interference, public schools, or modern medicine. Israel was 5 when his family left Utah for Colville, Washington. They lived isolated in the woods, where Keyes grew up without heat or electricity. While in Washington, Keyes' parents left the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, became fundamentalist Christians, and joined a white supremacist church called the Ark. In the late 1990s, the family relocated to Maupin, Oregon. It was there that Keyes said he attacked his first victim, though he didn't kill her. His family moved again, this time across the country to settle close to an Amish community in Maine. Growing up, Keyes broke into neighbors' homes to steal guns, loved hunting, pursued anything with a heartbeat, and tortured animals, behavior that has been linked to psychopathy. Military service. On July 9, 1998, Keyes relocated to New York, where he enlisted in the U.S. Army. There, he served as a specialist in Alpha Company, 1st Battalion, 5th Infantry Regiment, before passing a rigorous U.S. Army Rangers training course. He was stationed at Fort Hood in Texas, Fort Lewis in Washington, and Sinai in Egypt. Although no crimes were reported during his time in Egypt, he did reportedly tell a fellow soldier that he would like to kill him. While at Fort Lewis, Keyes was known to keep to himself and drink heavily on the weekends. He served on a mortar team in the 1st Battalion, 5th Infantry, 25th Infantry Division, and his only trouble with the law during that time came in February 2001, when he received a DUI. In 2000, Keyes became involved with a woman living on the Washington Maca Reservation. The next year, their daughter, whose name hasn't been made public, was born. In July 2001, Keyes went to live with the mother of his child after being honorably discharged from the Army. He worked for the Maca Tribal Council in Nia Bay from 2001 to 2007. In 2007, Keyes moved to Alaska to live with a nurse practitioner he'd been dating and brought his daughter along with him. That same year, he started his own business, Keyes Construction, where he worked as a handyman, contractor, and construction worker. Murder of Samantha Koenig. On February 1, 2012, Keyes abducted 18-year-old barista Samantha Koenig from the coffee shop where she worked in Anchorage, Alaska. He stole Koenig's debit card and cell phone, sexually assaulted her, and killed her the following day. Keyes then stashed her body in a shed while he went on a planned family vacation, a 2-week cruise in the Gulf of Mexico. Upon returning, Keyes applied makeup to Koenig's face, sewed her eyes open with a fishing line, and took a picture of her alongside a 4-day-old issue of the Anchorage Daily News to make it seem like she was still alive. Using her cell phone, Keyes sent texts, including a demand for a $30,000 ransom. Her family, hoping Connick was still alive, deposited money into her account. Other victims. Keyes is believed to have killed 11 people, of whom only Samantha Connick and 2 others have been definitively identified. He also sexually assaulted a girl who was between the ages of 14 and 18. According to Keyes, his first planned attack took place in Oregon in 1997 or 1998. He abducted a teenage girl, then raped her. He intended to murder her, but she convinced him to let her leave. "I wasn't violent enough," Keyes later told investigators of the crime. "I made up my mind I was never going to let that happen again." Arrest and trial. After Samantha Connick's family paid a ransom that Keyes had staged, the killer used her ATM card to withdraw funds in Alaska. He then continued these transactions while traveling in New Mexico, Arizona, and Texas. During a visit with his mother and some siblings in Texas, one of Keyes' sisters tried to get him to reconsider his atheism. A pastor at the time said that Keyes answered, "You don't know the depths of darkness that I've gone to. You don't know what I've done." Death. Keyes' body was discovered in his Anchorage, Alaska, jail cell on the morning of December 2, 2012. His death was the result of suicide. Despite warnings not to provide him with a razor blade, 34-year-old Keyes had been given one. He slit his wrist and also strangled himself with a sheet while lying in bed. Along with the skulls Keyes had drawn in his blood, authorities found a 4-page suicide note beneath his body. Throughout the oft-rhyming message, Keyes criticized American consumerism and the banality of daily life, and seemed to celebrate his murders. "You may have been free. You loved living your lie. Fate had its own scheme. Crushed like a bug you still die," Keyes wrote in one section. If you like this video and would like to see more like it, please give it the thumbs up. Leave a comment and click the button to subscribe.